Got to give a big thanks to our Patreon supporters, Matt J, Carson C, Claire G, James P. If you want to support us on Patreon, if you would like to support the podcast, the best way to do it is by... If you want to support the podcast, If you want to support the podcast like Matt J, Carson C, Claire G, and James P, go to patreon.com/whatweremember. Any monthly pledge gets you access to exclusive episodes, Back to the Future, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Men in Black, and our September movie, Spaceballs. That's patreon.com/whatweremember. Thanks.
Always making yourself look good.
That's true. I do, and I go out of my way to make you guys look bad. I'll add in stutters. I'll add in
I mean, I go out of my way to make myself look bad.
I'll add in likes.
Like when?
Like when do I say though?
Like the other
like when does
the one like.
Well, like
Did you like That's the like you gotta keep because you're like talking about. Hey, did you like this thing? It's like I leave that like in, I guess.
I like that like.
Hey, did you like this thing at all?
Did you like it?
Did you really like it?
Are you in like with them?
Did you like Stephen King's It? Did you like it?
Oh God, no.
Hot takes. That's been a hot take. My name is Bradley Jones.
I'm Andrew Moldenhauer.
And I'm Andy Hubert.
And this is not a movie review podcast, but a podcast where we try to remember what happened in a movie we haven't seen in a very, very long time. This is what we remember about Angels in the Outfield.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we kill. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
What?
Right? Isn't that?
Gordon Joseph Levitt?
You're Ghost Driver
JGL.
Lawson Gordon Jevitt?
Look, all I know is that the Angels did not come into the infield. That's the only thing.
They had to stay in the outfield.
I think they were in the infield. Didn't they help somebody bat?
You're right.
They do.
Okay, let's be honest. All the Angels are just Christopher Lloyd, right?
No, they were always a different person.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people. Yeah.
Okay, but one of them was Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
He's like the main one.
angel.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like the It's
There's
a Wonderful
other
Life
Angels in the outfield?
I mean, the title says Angels in the outfield. It doesn't say Angel in
And the actual
outfield.
team is the Angels, so like those count as angels too.
Yeah.
And some of them were like really nice men, and they're angels. And then that's all I got for angels.
Well, there it is.
It's in Los Angeles.
Angeles.
Yeah.
Is it? Is that where the Angels play?
The LA Angels? I mean, there's a lot of baseball teams in California.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah,
I
there
think
are.
that's
I mean,
them.
they also have the Dodgers, but
who
that's
were
new.
the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
So.
they got the.
But I'm pretty sure it is the LA Angels.
Yeah.
That's weird. That doesn't roll off the tongue very well. The La Angels.
They might have been
The
traded, though.
Angels.
Oh, I get you.
Oh, since then, yeah, that could be.
They might have got traded to there, yeah.
So we got Tony Danza
Yep.
in this movie.
Oh, Tony Danza?
Yep.
The D's in this movie. And we got the other D, Danny Glover.
Yep.
Oh, yes,
Yep.
Danny
Danny
Glover.
Glover.
Because
Those are
he's...
the
Wait,
big
is he
ones.
the coach
He's the coach
of the Angels?
He's like the manager of the team, yeah.
Okay. And then Tony Danza's a batter.
Yeah, he's the
Or batter. I don't know a single thing about baseball.
He plays the ball game, right?
He's the basket scorer guy.
He's in that the square, the squarish diamond square.
Touchdown.
Hat trick.
Is he like the pitcher?
Yeah, no, he's the belly itcher.
Oh, got it.
Wow,
Oy,
that's
oy, oy.
bringing back some Rookie of the Year flashbacks for me.
Well, that's what this movie kind of like tried to cash in on.
Oh
right?
yeah, absolutely.
It's like we got that Mighty Ducks, we got that
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Let's double dip. Let's get Angels in the Outfield happening.
Yep.
Is this a remake? It feels like it could have been.
It feels like it does
Probably.
feel like it could have been a
but
remake.
maybe not.
From Angels with Dirty Faces. The Home Alone movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you filthy animal.
So
All right, let's do it.
let's try to think about what happened in this movie.
So Joseph Gordon-Levitt
Yep,
yeah,
he's in
is
it.
adopted. He's in like a foster program.
I don't think he's in it. I think his parents are just divorced.
I thought Tony Danza was for sure his like legit dad.
Yeah, I think he is.
No. Well, no. No, because Danny Glover adopts him and this.
What?
Yeah, at the very end of the movie.
Oh, at the end of the movie.
So they're both in a foster program.
I swear,
Tony Danza's in a foster program?
Danny Glover's in a foster program?
Yeah, they get adopted by Joseph Gordon.
Come on. How does that work?
I'd watch that movie.
It's him and no, he's in a foster home. I think he just got in there, or oh god, it's hard to say.
Oh, maybe he's in like a. I wonder if he's in like a foster home because his dad can't take care of him.
Is the mom just not in the picture at all?
I don't know, because I know the whole reason the angels come is because like he asks his dad, like, are we ever going to be a family again? And his dad says, yeah, when the angels win the pennant.
Seriously?
And so that's when he's like, dear God, please let the angels win the pennant.
Yeah.
And God's like, that's not happening unless we have a whole boatload
Bunch
of
of
angels
angels.
down there. They are terrible.
Does he make a wish on like a thing, or is it just
On a
like
shooting
Wonder if-
star?
yeah, like to a
Shooting
star or
star?
something.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Are you sure? I mean, I believe you, but I also
No,
don't want to
For
believe
sure,
you.
Tony Danza. I thought, is it Tony Danza that says that, or is there a different dad? Is it Tony Danza
That's what
not
I'm wondering.
the dad?
That's what I'm wondering if he's just a player on the team and there's a different dad.
Tony
that we
Danza
don't
is
like.
totally a player on this team.
Yeah.
I thought Carrie Elwes said that to his kid in Sandlot, which was also another baseball movie that they're trying to.
I mean,
shoe in on.
I don't know. That's what I feel like.
I don't
No.
think Carrie Elwes is in the Sandlot.
Oh, he for sure is.
No, he's not.
What?
He plays.
You're thinking of Dennis Leary.
I am thinking of Dennis Leary. Carrie Elwes is in Liar Liar. That's where he
that's
plays
true,
the They look similar. They're similar looking.
In that, yeah, it's the
I guess
Sandlot.
they're both blonde. I don't know, Brad.
They're both men.
I don't know,
guess?
Brad.
They both have sort of the same number of letters in their name.
They were
Oh,
both in
man.
the movie Saw for some reason.
I never saw it.
Oh.
Oh, boy, oh, that's a Brad joke.
That's a No, I never seesawed.
Joseph.
Gordon
You
Levitt.
can just call him. Look, you just call him JGL, okay? It's,
JGL is
So there's some parental figure. It could be Tony Danza. Says
no,
that,
it's some lady.
Well, that's fine too. I covered all my bases. Another baseball joke. Hitting them out of the park. Here we go.
boy.
It's some older lady who I think is just the foster parent.
Okay.
And she takes care of J.
Is it Bonnie Hunter?
GL?
GL. No, I think it's like she's way older than that.
Betsy.
DeVos.
Betty White.
Midler.
It's Betty White.
It's
Betty
a-
Midler.
It's a
Oh,
Betty
Betty
Midler.
Midler. Barbara Streisand.
But I also agree with you that there is a shooting star scene where he wishes that the Angels win, but for some particular reason.
It's because his
It's
dad
His
will be a
dad,
family.
his
There's-
dad is probably still around.
There's definitely a scene
That
where like his
happens.
dad specifically says, "Yeah, we'll be a family again when this happens," as in like a when pigs fly thing, but the kid doesn't get it; it goes over his head. So he's like, "Oh, so they literally need to win in order
Yeah.
for my dad to love me again."
It's a liar situation where
yeah.
he makes a wish and that wish has to come true
So
with
he's
godly forces.
he's watching the baseball game, and does Christopher Lloyd like show up right away, or is he like a guy that's kind of like teasing the kid? Because the kid is the only one that can see the angels.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the audience, of
Right.
course. And Christopher Lloyd is like chief angel man, setting it all up to make it happen.
Right. I don't remember how he's introduced. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like he's another person at the game originally messing with
he's
the kid.
incognito.
Yeah. And then he's like, "Surprise! I'm not really real, sort of. You can see me, but no one else can."
I'm an imaginary
So
person.
he like you think he comes up to Joseph Gordon-Levitt and is like, I'm an angel and like I'm here to
No.
grant your
No,
wish."
I think
he's
he
saying the
originally
opposite.
is like messing with him, and
Yeah.
then after finally he's
Okay.
like, "Jokes like, psych! I was just kidding. I'm actually an angel, and I'm here to grant your wish. You only get one, and that was your one wish. Way to waste it." Like,
So there's a bunch of weird scenes where like angels are picking up baseball players. They're catching
help
like
them
fly
catch.
balls that they couldn't
like
hit.
you have to
They're doing all
believe the
sorts of
league
stuff they
was like,
couldn't
we
do.
need to like dope test these guys. They are jumping 20 feet in the air to catch these balls.
Do you know who? If there's got to be announcers. Who's
Yes.
the announcers in this movie?
I don't know who there's, but one of them is like one of the antagonists. I think like he doesn't like Danny Glover.
Why would the announcer how does the announcer have any pull on like
I
who
have
the coach
no
is?
idea. I just remember them like
The
being
owner?
a fighting
There's
the
gotta
whole
be an
time.
evil owner.
Because I think like the announcer's the one that spills the beans that there's angels helping the team.
How does he know that? Does the kid tell him?
Yeah, the kid tells Danny Glover, and so then Danny Glover's like, that's why the kid, Danny Glover's like, well, I need you on the team now, kid, because you're the only one that can see the angels. I don't know why that's important to the team. I feel like the angels are going to help them regardless.
Yeah, they're just going to do their own thing.
Well, because they eventually like believe in it, but we can't forget the fact that the signal. Remember the signal?
I don't remember the signal.
When there is a player who has an angel supporting him, you flap your wings like a bird.
Oh man, I do remember that.
That's the signal that an angel is in the outfield
or
the infield.
And I bet there's a trick at the end where he convinces the players that there's an angel, but
there
not.
isn't.
And the player just,
and the magic
that
was
is
in
exactly
them.
what happens.
It was in them all along.
That is he lies to them and says that there is an angel there when there's not, and they believe it. And I don't know if that like goes well for them or not.
They lose, and then they all hate the kid, and then
they win. This game, I'm pretty sure this movie ends with them.
I have to believe it does.
So does it end with them going to the World Series and not playing it like every other baseball movie ever?
I mean, I have
they
to
just play independent.
Yeah, that's all baseball movies ever go to.
Well, that's why I'm wondering, like, if it involves like they go to the World Series and do the win thing, and that's when like the ending is him being like, "Dad, now we can be back together," and he was like, "Oh, I was, that was not supposed to be serious. So we are never being a family again." And then he ends up like being adopted by Danny Glover or Tony Danza.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's where I don't really believe you because
I feel both of those are fine.
He does get adopted by Danny Glover.
So who is Tony Danza to him?
Maybe he gets adopted by Tony Danza.
Is Tony Danza just like the star player who's just like not even?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering if he's like one of the he's like the or maybe he's like the
Gary Busey
character. Yeah, where he's kind of like the hero in decline character. Who's looking for his last hurrah on the team. He's like, I could win a World Series now because we got divine intervention. Yeah. Well, what if another kid had wished that his dad would get together if another team won?
Yeah, this seems like a real greedy wish.
Really? Yeah, I mean, it's like...
You could do a lot of good with angels other than
he makes a deal.
Games.
Wait, so Joseph makes a deal with God and... wants the LA Angels to win, but then some other guy makes a deal with Satan to get it's like, and then it's literally just like
to make the New Jersey Devils win the hockey game. They're like competing.
I love the oh my gosh, it's like I love to see like the two teams competing in the World Series, and it's like this divine clash.
Yeah, it's outside of
Angels versus Demons in the World Series.
Now that's the movie.
I'd watch that.
That would
movie.
be an insane movie.
Put Tom Hanks in it. Get that the proper Angels versus Demons movie we always wanted, and not that silly Da Vinci Code one.
He was great. He was great in League of Our Own, so he can do baseball coach.
Another great baseball movie. The '90s were the hits.
Knocking him out of the
park. Home runs every time.
I have no idea what the relevance is, but there's another younger character who
best friend.
He also is adopted or is like a foster.
Where are all these parents in this movie? Why are all these like single kids? Are they all newsies? Like no one knows who these like strange kids are? How are they getting into the baseball games? They gotta be sneaking up through the sewers.
I mean, they're both like sports fanatics, so I think the lady that's like their foster parent keeps taking them to the games. I guess
sounds plausible. That sounds good to me. I like that. Or maybe like that's the one activity that the dad will do with the kid. Or
maybe I don't know.
Andy's still not convinced that there is a dad. So
I'm not convinced there's a dad, but I also like. Part of me wants to believe you because it makes sense what you're saying, but I don't have the pieces.
Yeah, it's just like blocked in your head. I have to accept it because I don't have any leg to stand on here.
Like we mentioned, like so then players start flying in the air and catch a ball. I'm like, and as soon as you said, I'm like, and then that's it. I'm like, what the heck else do we get to see for these angels helping? Is it just like a giant montage the entire middle section of this film?
Montage.
I could be making this up, but I thought there's like a part where like somebody bunts the ball. And like the angel like moves it like all around the field, and like no one can pick it up.
Does
that happen?
I believe you. I think it does.
Oh my god, that sounds totally like something that will happen in this movie.
Yeah, just like goof, like they can't get the ball, like it just keeps on like floating around.
And MLB is like, okay, seriously, we need to drug test the whole team. We need to check all the equipment before this game.
I bet there is a moment like that where it's like. Maybe the team gets in trouble somehow and they have to investigate it. And then the whole story like breaks open where the newspaper says that there's this boy who knows that angels are helping
Right, I think that's like the big conflict point in the film is that, like the kid explained to Danny Glover what's going on, and then the team kind of knows, and then like some news guy finds out the story, like it gets leaked by a player.
He probably wants to exploit it somehow,
and that's when he's like, "Oh, it turns out this is what's been happening. Those cheaters." Mm-hmm. And then the Angels like, "Oh, we can't help them anymore." That's they found out it's not
for sure.
fair.
The Angels stop helping because Christopher Lloyd just like, "Peace out. I did enough for what I wanted to do."
And the kid's like, "My dad, no."
or maybe not my dad.
Maybe my foster mom, no.
This person who has some sort of connection to me in the movie. It's uncertain.
Oh man.
I think probably like the stakes might be that he's in this foster home he's time limited there, and his dad has to.
Oh, that sounds good.
His dad maybe there is like some type of like child protective service case where his dad had to show that he was capable of taking care of his son again in a certain amount of time. But his dad,
can't be bothered to.
Yeah, his dad just is not accepting that situation, and so maybe that's where that wish comes into play.
I like that idea.
Do the Angels ever like possess somebody? Did I make that up too? Where there's like a guy running and like an angel jumps in him?
Into him? I think
like,
that's
runs
true.
Super fast?
I think that happens.
I think it's when there's like a fly ball and he's trying to run to because it's almost going to be a home run.
Yeah.
And I think the angel just like jumps into his body and forces him to run faster.
Does that happen? I like
think
it if it
something
does.
like that does happen.
That sounds good to me.
In my brain, it's just like it's sticking in there.
It's so funny. You have all these like smaller pieces.
Yeah.
Nice.
I paid more attention to what was going on in the baseball rather than what's going on with any of these kids' lives. Because I was like, oh, this is fun.
Brad's watched the movie, filling out his box scores along with the game.
I was that summer. I was like, I'm putting it all on the Angels. I've been seeing what's going on out there in that field.
Everyone's like, Brad, it's just a movie. He's like,
no,
this is ESPN.
They're winning. My Game Gear TV is showing me that the Angels are winning.
Oh, man.
You like drafted Tony Danza on your sport fantasy
team. Yeah.
I went to DraftKings.com. I was 6 years old. I put it all on the Angels, and that's where I got my fortune from.
Now we need to call DraftKings and have them sponsor the podcast.
Well,
do they still exist? Did they get shut down yet?
I don't know. They should. If they don't.
Wait, why? What's going on there?
Gambling's illegal.
Yeah, it's online gambling.
Oh, well, how does like Full Tilt Poker got shut down too? Didn't it?
Well, yeah, in the U.S. unless you're playing for not real money.
Oh, okay.
But the argument was that the fantasy sites, you're betting on real people that have skills because it's players and it's not random. And then everyone else was like, it's as good as random.
So is there any gambling in Angels in the Outfield? Bringing it back? Is there like?
Oh no? Man, the kid's
maybe
like making a bunch of money on the side.
On it.
Oh, that'd be a twist. Like his dad turns out he's like this scumbag that he doesn't know about.
So after a baseball game, where does the kid go? Is he just go back to the foster home, or is he like got like foster parents, or is he
just
like
sleeps in the dugout?
He's got like a whole home filled with kids that he hangs out with.
Yeah, that sounds.
Is there a girl he's got a crush on?
Ooh,
it's gotta be.
I don't know about.
I don't know if they have time to fit in a girl in this one. Like they barely did that in Rookie of the Year.
There are only like 4 men on the cover of the poster of this film.
No, he's just staying with one lady, and she's taking care of him and another boy.
So she's like a madam.
No, she's the foster parent.
She's the foster madam, right? Is that how that works?
Oh my goodness.
When I was a foster kid, I had a madam and I had to do things.
Brad,
Tony Danza came into my house
and
I had to do.
No, Brad.
Wait,
you were not a foster kid.
No, I was.
Brad, what happened to you?
This was a fantasy that
Brad.
you had.
Oh no!
Oh, Brad.
Fantasy sports was something else that I blocked out.
Oh God! He's having a mental break.
I'm having that bad movie that I hate. What's that one that Zack Snyder did?
Sucker Punch?
I'm having a Sucker Punch moment.
Oh, God.
I'm blocking it out.
You're having fantasies within fantasies?
Oh, no.
Oh, man, that one sucked.
Yeah, that movie is something else.
I watched that one in the theaters.
I did, too. I saw it in theaters.
Did we see it together?
We might have.
You poor sons of bitches.
It was...
The movie had no stakes to it. That's why it sucks so bad.
I can't watch it. It's hard to look at.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Oh, boy.
There's nothing to it.
Yeah, it's still Angels in the Outfield. No, this movie.
Okay, back to the film.
I keep trying to bring it back.
Tony Danza smiling at the camera. Danny Glover being the frustrated coach.
So let's figure out. What does Tony Danza want? Does he just want? Is he like
The Angels to win.
No.
Okay.
Is he like the last year of his contract, and he's like trying to get another option, or is it like this is his only other chance?
Or he's like his
Yeah,
last
it might just
chance
be
to
his
get,
last-
bad,
get the
or-
ring.
Yeah. What's his thing? What's his?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's like a
his
Gary
thing,
Busey
man.
character. It's like his last year. He's old. He's aging out of the sport. He can't keep up with those young whippersnappers. And he's on the crummiest team in the league that's not the Cubs.
You think we got some kind of like cameo from either like a baseball
band
player
cameo?
or the band cameo?
Or like a sports announcer.
Oh yeah, or like a younger actor that is famous now, but
I
wasn't
bet
then.
there's like 3 or 4 they weren't. I guess they wouldn't be cameos at the time. They're like, I bet there's like at least 3 or 4 people that are in this movie that become big, because that's like a lot of
because
those...
they made a wish on a genie.
yes, on the Angels. But I'm expecting a couple. I'm going to keep my eyes open.
Oh my God, there's so many loose ends that we're missing here.
That's the point of this podcast.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We got to string it together.
This is a movie I've not seen probably since I was like 11.
That's my favorite kind of movie that we do. Is one like I would never go out of my way to see this again.
Nope.
If not for this podcast, there's
Nope.
no way. You couldn't pay me to watch Angels in the Outfield.
This is good because we are not paying you,
I
Brad.
know. Sponsored by DraftKings. Hashtag not a sponsor.
Now audible.com.
Oh man, so I started thinking like maybe something's going on in Danny DeVito's life. Like
Oh boy, Dan DeVito. He's the head of Space Mountain. He wants his basketball
Yeah, he wants to
players.
get. He sees the
to
Angels
come
playing
back in.
supernaturally, and he's like, I need them in my theme park.
Tony Danza.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Danny Glover. That's a way more closer than Danny DeVito. He has the same first name. You had Danza? You went from Danny Glover to Danza?
This guy
Listen,
can't even say
listen.
3. He couldn't say Joseph Gordon-Levitt, so I gave him JGL. He can't even say that. Okay,
He's trying.
He's just
And
too.
it feels wrong to call him
Listen
Joseph.
to me. I said that, and I have no argument for it. I have nothing to support it.
Oh boy.
No, but Danny DeVito, Tony Danza.
Yeah.
I think he's like there's something in his life that he's missing. Like he's
Mona.
What?
Who's the boss?
That's right. Who's the boss?
Angela. Oh, Angels in the Outfield. Angela. There's a connection there.
There it is.
There you go.
Who's the boss fans? This one's for you.
I think there's something missing in his life, and he's probably like we were saying, he's probably like at the end of his career.
A
and
lady
he
or
wants to have
something in his
a
career.
family or something like that.
Yeah.
I bet is the situation that causes him to adopt one of them, if that is what happens.
Why would that happen? So, but does Danny Glover have a
Danny
wife?
Glover
Or is he
does
just like going to be a
adopt
single dad?
one of them, if not both of
Does
them.
he just go single dad style? Like
Yes,
adopting?
maybe, I don't
They're
know.
just going to give like these 2 kids to this old man?
He's
Yeah.
like, look, kids, if you can win the World Series to get me a big pay raise,
He's
I'll
never going to be
adopt you. I
He's
guess.
never going to be home. There's some issues here.
Oh boy.
He's rushing into this. He's working like 9 months of the year being that coach.
I don't know. Because
Maybe it's his last
he
year,
definitely
too.
adopts like the younger kid who lives with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but I don't know who adopts
That's okay.
him.
We're not going to figure it out until we see the movie.
Well, yeah, that's true.
We keep bringing it up. It's not going to resolve itself.
He's so determined. He's like, I'm going to find it buried somewhere in my brain.
Are
Yeah,
there even
I'm
women?
trying
Are there
to.
even women in this movie? I wonder. We haven't even.
Yeah, the foster mom.
But like the one.
Let's say, Brad, there's no women in baseball, Brad.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. It's like where are them ladies at?
Good
This
question.
is like the sausage party
I
movie.
think, I don't even think that he's got a love interest.
What I'm trying to get at is I want Danny Glover, I want Tony Danza, and I want JGL all to have a love interest.
You don't think any of them does like a Rookie of the Year where one of them gets with the foster mom?
Ooh. I was like thinking of it. No.
Boy, there's times I wish we had video of this every recording because your face was really, you hit click and you were just like, ugh.
Ew. Ew.
Ugh.
I got nothing else. I don't know what happens in this movie. They end up winning without the help of the Angels.
I'm really concerned
Yeah,
about the
that
number of
happens.
baseball montages we're going to see. I feel like every game is going to be
There's
a
gonna be a
montage.
It's going to be a flyby.
Do you want
of a ton
to
of games.
guess at any songs that will play during these montages?
I'm all right. Ain't nobody worry about me.
City of Angels, is that a song by somebody?
That sounds like it would be a song.
Is that a song by Seal?
I mean, that's a movie that came out in the later 90s.
They're going to play the theme
and then
song
they
to
made
a movie that wasn't out yet. That's going to happen.
Oh, man.
So John Candy isn't in this movie, and Bob Uecker aren't in this movie?
No.
No Bob Uecker? No Charlie
think
Sheen?
so.
No Tom Hanks? No Gina Davis?
No Emilio Estevez.
It's every other... I know so much about every other baseball movie.
We're going to be watching this. We're going to be like, feel so stupid that we didn't get like a couple of actors that are like, oh, of course.
I just want to know what they're doing, other than just playing baseball with some angels.
I mean, that's
all there is.
That's the movie.
It's a movie's
be,
about
right?
angels in the outfield, Brad.
Until they're not in the outfield.
Does Christopher Lloyd...
Here's the basic summation of the movie. The Angels aren't in the outfield. Then they're in the outfield. Then they're not in the outfield anymore. The movie is over.
And sometimes they're in the infield, and sometimes they're batting or something.
I mean, I'm sure there's scenes like outside the baseball thing, like Christopher Lloyd hangs out with the kid all the time, gives him sage advice or something. I assume he probably talks to him and helps him resolve some issues.
He's like sitting on that whatever the line is, the foul line at one point, and he tilts
bends
that.
it?
He bends that so the ball goes by.
He's like riding it. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing that happens.
Yep.
And he's like, listen to me, Marty. It's about your kids. Isn't that what it's called?
the plutonium!
That's one from the movie. Like, these angels gotta go at 21 gigawatts. An exact quote from the film, I
He
think.
convinces the kid to electrocute the baseball players.
Oh, boy.
The angels told me to do it.
Is this it? Is this
I don't
what
think
so.
I've got
our
anything
lives-
else left.
Is this what our life
Tank's
ended up
empty.
to?
Time to check this movie out.
It's time to go and give this a spin.
Let me think. Let me go in the think tank. I see a lot of people being grabbed by angels and floating towards fly balls.
Yep.
I see that ball rolling around the field. I see someone hitting
Brad
it
focused
really
only
hard.
on the baseball scenes. Nothing else.
I see like an Empire doing something goofy, like he doesn't know what to do. It's
Did you
like,
say an empire?
Umpire,
yeah.
Brad.
Well, Return of the Empire, the Star Wars movie. Yeah, he's like he doesn't know what the call is supposed to be because like something really goofy happened.
Does a pitch probably does like a crazy loop-de-loop thing or something?
Something happens
to
with
get
the
a
pitcher
strikeout.
for sure.
Got a sidewinder.
Does Tony Danza?
I'm really hoping there's a point where like the umpire takes off his face mask and is just like good. Like
We need a video.
happen.
We need a video of your face for listeners to understand that.
Okay, what position does Tony Danza play? Think about it. We're gonna say it on 3. We'll see who gets it right. 1, 2, 3.
First
the
catcher.
whole outfield.
He just plays somewhere in the
He
outfield.
plays the whole outfield. He does all 3.
We'll figure it out. That'll be like the winner of part 2. Whoever figures out what position Tony Danza plays.
We didn't even say pitcher, and it's
I
probably
know.
going to be that.
I thought you were gonna say pitcher. That's why I said catcher.
I said first base.
You did.
I was almost at first base.
If any outfielder, I'll give it to you if he plays in the outfield. But I don't think he does. He's got to be pitching.
Odds
catching,
are in
or
your
playing at
favor,
first
but
base.
maybe they're not.
Yeah, right.
Odds are in probably none of our favors.
Turns out Tony is just a big fan. He's just in the bleachers the whole time.
Turns out Tony Danza's the coach, and then
Danny Glover's the lead angel. Christopher Lloyd's the
Christopher
villain.
Lloyd is the owner of the team.
I'm really trying
to trade those angels to the Yankees.
I gotta imagine there's some scenes that don't take place in a baseball stadium, and I can't picture
the
it.
only scene I can picture outside of like the baseball scene is like the kid. It's like at night and the kid's back in his room and he's talking to like Christopher Lloyd, who's like sitting at his window.
Oh, he's in a bedroom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so that's when he's just
I don't
like,
remember those scenes at all.
I'm pretty sure there's like at least one or a couple scenes where it's like they're back home and Christopher Lloyd follows him all the time and helps him with life advice.
Is he like going to school and stuff,
I don't
and
know
like
if he
into
goes to
fights with
school.
people, and they're like, "You believe in angels? You're a dummy."
And he's like, I'm not. There's one right here now. And like, you're just crazy.
Starts flapping his wings.
He does the signal.
But everybody gets into it at some point.
Yeah,
Like
the
the
whole
whole
crowd.
audience
Yeah, the whole
is
crowd
doing
does the
the
same
angel-
signal. And I'm
angel
like,
clap.
was the signal supposed to be subtle? Like, I mean, baseball has a lot of hand signals, and that one they do for the Angels is the worst one. Like,
It's complicated.
you would think you'd want to kind of keep that on the DL, like if there's Angels helping your team, and they're like, no, it's fine. We'll just do the big wing flap.
Do people who go to Angels games still do that? Is it
Also,
can you get it going?
Did they ever do that? Like,
we should go to it. We should go to a game and do it.
Like, did someone go to an Angels game after the movie came out and do that? And everyone else was like, no.
Yeah, can you start?
You need to sit down.
In the same way you can start the wave, can you start the Angels in the stadium?
Like, that guy saw that one movie.
Also, like, how does he? What brings him to give the signal in the first place? Does Danny Glover tell him to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He sets it up. Like, how do I know?
How will I know? You'll know when you see a player go 20 feet in the air, or when you see the foul.
I think he's in the
pole.
audience and Danny Glover's looking at him.
I think that's probably true.
I think one of Jordan Joseph Levitt's. I murdered it real good.
Jordan
Goebbels Levitt's.
One of Mark Levitt's Joseph's.
Levinkratz.
Yep, Levinkratz and Guildenstern.
Lenny Kravitz is in
Lenny
this movie?
Kravitz has some sort of dead relative, and he asks Christopher Lloyd, "Is he okay?" Or whatever.
Oh, I bet that.
And he has some
I wonder if that's the
insight.
mom. Maybe the mom died.
Christopher Lloyd tells something about somebody who he's lost, who's doing well up in
Better write that down.
in heaven, and maybe even that person comes down as an angel.
Oh, right at the end.
Yeah.
Like, hey, buddy, I could have been hanging out with you this whole time, but I'm only showing up right now. Bye.
Yeah, it was my mom or my dad. It was one of the angels. Hooray! What are you phoning over there? You
he's
you
right
phoning
down-
a friend?
Oh, I'm writing that down.
Oh.
Write down the.
I mean, we have it on audio.
You gotta write down our guesses.
Well, I never get to listen to the audio.
It's just Brad editing himself to sound good. That's all there is.
Wouldn't you edit myself to sound good? Wait.
Yeah, I think
You're
so.
myself?
So join us in part 2. We'll figure out what happens in this
figure out
movie.
something.
We'll figure out what kid is going on to where and who gets adopted, and we're gonna get
Or doesn't.
And who doesn't.
And
Who has a dad and who doesn't have a dad?
Let's get high. Hey, if you want to get in contact with the crew of What We Remember, go ahead and follow us on social media, twitter.com/whatweremember, facebook.com/What We Remember. We love the comments, we love the likes, we like the shares. Thanks.
Amazing play. I love it when they come from above like that.
From above?
The Sky deal. It's a good entrance for 'em.
You mean you saw 'em?
The Angels?
Angels?
Of course I saw them. They're with me. The little one's a rookie. He just got off his training wings.
You mean those are real angels?
Except no substitutes.
Who are you?
Just call me Al. No one can see me or hear me but you.
Why me?
You ask for help, and we're here. We come and go. It's an as-needed situation.
Who are you talking to, Rod?
Welcome back to the You Just Gotta Believe podcast. We watched Angels in the Outfield.
It had a lot of cameos.
Guys, can we talk about the 2 future Best Actor Academy Award winners that were in this film?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Jordan Joseph Levitt.
Let it.
We got Adrian Brody.
Yeah, Shrimpy.
Yeah.
Before he took human growth hormone or something, I guess. He's 5 feet tall in this film.
He's tiny.
All the weight was in his nose.
And,
Wow.
and for some reason,
Well, I'm one to talk.
yeah, that's true. And for some reason, Matthew McConaughey is in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they none of them have any lines. They're just there.
And we got Neil McDonough playing an idiot.
See, I wrote that down. I didn't know how to pronounce his last name at all. But I was like, I know that guy.
Yeah, that guy's in stuff.
He was an idiot.
He's usually a serious actor, though.
Yep,
So it was a neat choice to see somebody like that in
He was really good in Band of Brothers.
Yeah, Minority Report, and
Yep. He was in those Cadillac commercials where he talks about, sure, people in European countries are happy, but we're in America, so work more. Cadillac.
He's in the
really
Walking Tall remake where he bullies the Rock, and I also am showing my hand here, but he was a recurring role in Desperate Housewives.
Which you've seen every episode of.
Correct.
Brad, we could have used a quiz other than that. They had a question about that.
I would have got it right.
Something about the name of the street they live on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it Desperate Street?
Something lane.
So, right from the beginning, you get.
I thought that was the little kid from Hook. I thought it was. I forgot to look it up and cross-check it, but I was like, "Is the little kid from Hook that kid?"
He was. I thought he was a good actor in this movie.
They
he was,
They were
yeah.
all great. They were best buds. That's what I liked about it. They were just best buddies.
Yeah.
I think the funniest part of the opening is that in our part 1 we talked about, foster, if they're like foster kids, what happened to their parents. They literally give you every ADR line to explain
Yes, they do.
everything that we got within the first 30 seconds.
They make it very clear very quickly.
Yeah, they acknowledge that his mom is dead. The other guy's dad is dead. They're both in heaven. They're at a foster home.
Yep. And
They knock that out in 4 lines. And it's like the first line.
And
Get it out
2 minutes
there.
in, they get back, and then the kid's dad is there. So we get to
Dermot Mulroney.
understand that. Yep.
That's who his
Jeez,
dad
Pete.
was?
Yeah. Another guy that super
I had to
famous.
write down his dad was literally our age now. Like his dad
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah.
It kind of freaked me out for a second. I was like,
Could that
he
could
looks
be
too
me.
young to be a dad. And then I was like, oh man, that's like
Yeah,
me now.
He can totally be a dad.
Yeah, he could do it. And we got the foster mom, which is the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2.
I thought it was.
It is.
I thought it was also the mom from So I Married an Axe Murderer. Is she the same lady?
Maybe.
That's great that she
It's
was.
possible. She's Irish. And
Yeah. She
Aren't
played.
they Irish
That's
in
what
that
that's
movie?
what I thought of. Even forgot about Home
Brad,
Alone
we
2.
watched Home Alone 2 on this
I know,
podcast.
and we haven't done So I Married an Axe Murderer yet. So
She was trying her best to have an American accent.
you think so? I think she just let it hang out. She was great. She's awesome.
She was
really
fantastic.
good.
That speech that she gave,
I teared up a little bit.
Oh, man.
I will admit, this is the
teared up.
second cry moment that I've had in a What We Remember movie.
Oh.
It was touching.
Yeah.
It was a touching little thing there.
Although I will say I didn't cry at that moment. I cried at the moment when all of the audience or all of the people in the stands started doing the angel wave.
The angel
I thought
wave.
that was silly.
It was kind of silly, but for a moment it was, I don't know, kind of joyful, and I teared up a little
It's
bit.
uplifting, but I thought it was kind of silly.
None of them knew how to do that.
Yes, most of them
No.
were just doing the wave out there.
That's what it looked
in the
like.
background.
Yeah.
But man, did they get a stadium full of people to do that with?
Yeah.
That they made it happen. That existed.
That must have been insane to set that up.
Yeah, they either crammed before or after a game. That's the only way I could think of to get
Maybe.
the thing going. Maybe it was like in between a double header.
No, the trivia said that it was a stadium for a team that was it was like an off season.
It's in
or something.
Oakland, yeah. It's the Oakland Stadium.
No one was using it at the time, so
And
that's how they were able to
crammed
rent
it full
it
extras.
out. Yeah.
That sounds like a terrible day just to
Yeah.
hang out
How do you
at the
find,
stadium and
like-
not watch baseball.
How do you find that many people, 10 to 20,000 people, or whatever it is?
LA
to-
casting calls can get a lot done.
Yeah, that's true. Just be like, hey, want to
Craigslist.
be in a movie or go to the stadium for no reason? Just hang out today.
Yeah, we'll feed you hot dogs and give
And
you
then,
a beer maybe.
and then you can all do
Yeah.
this weird wave.
We just want this one scene where you're flapping your arms.
Trying to think of other things. We mentioned that we weren't sure if Christopher Lloyd just sort of messes with him when they first say. He pretty much straight up says, "Hey, I'm an angel. This is what's up," and he steals the guy's hat, and then he disappears with the hat. And I'm like, so is that hat just gone now? Like that guy loses his hat forever?
Yep.
Yep, he touched
That's
his
the
hat
rule.
and then the hat
What
died.
if that
and-
dude's hat was like a gift from his dad before he died, and he cherishes this hat, and then an angel just steals it and then vaporizes with it, and it's gone now.
It's
That
fine.
guy has to
It's
be
okay.
thinking,
I mean,
what happened to my
I feel
hat?
like that's an awful mean thing for an angel to do. I feel like an angel should have the ability to just make himself a
He's
hat
playful.
at the expense of others, Brad.
Yeah, he's a trickster. He's like Loki.
He's Loki.
He's like Loki. He's an angel of trickery.
Oh man!
But all the angels are really smiling and
yeah,
little
They're all kinda creepy.
They're very creepy and happy.
yeah.
Oh my!
They don't really help all that often, though.
It was 4 times.
I really
in the movie.
didn't see it. It was like maybe one angel per game,
So,
sort of.
Yeah, a guy doesn't quite get possessed, but an angel gets all up on him and bats for him.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd kind of possesses a guy in the stand. There's always this buck-toothed
yeah, the fat guy.
t-shirt guy who's always ragging on the
Who
angels.
definitely need to shave his neckline.
That you kept that
It
for the
was
movie.
so
They're
long.
grow out that
I was
neckline.
saying you can't. He's not the
It's the
same character if you
character.
shave that neckline. You
Yeah.
gotta have that neckline.
The bat breaks. Matthew McConaughey catches the ball. The ball does zigzaggy all over the field.
Yep.
How do you explain that? How do you explain that?
Well, those umpires tried and they couldn't. They were like,
They were looking at the ball like a bunch of dummies.
the umpires had a huddle where they all go, goo, 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 goo.
That is literally what the sound they were making.
Some sort of wobbly ball. I know they have
Oh
those
my
as
gosh.
dog toys where they
Yeah.
the ball just randomly rolls around.
Yeah, that's what this was.
Yeah, they replaced it with that ball somehow.
Oh.
They kind of with Is it with baseball movies? When you write that, you just can't have them like play in the World Series. It's only for the pennant.
It was always for the pennant.
It's
you never want
only
to see
for
that
the pennant?
7-game series.
I don't know.
No one wants to see that 7-game series. I thought they were going to go for it because I looked at the clock. And I was like, there's still 45 minutes of movie left. They could do the series if they wanted to.
I thought so too.
They could show some of
did.
these games.
Yeah.
But no. They just spend like 15 minutes watching like Tony Danza pitch. So this is so long.
So we were trying to figure out in the first half what Tony Danza's character was.
He doesn't do anything
barely
in this
had a
movie.
part.
He has like 6 lines.
He really isn't.
He's not important. He just like backups people's lines. There's 2 times Danny Glover gives a speech, or someone gives a speech, and then he has to get the last word in.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't need to be there.
I mean, Christopher Lloyd was also only in this film for maybe 2 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, but that character, didn't need to be in very long. He was a come and go.
Yeah.
It could have been a.
But I'm like,
good actor.
I feel like these scenes were filmed in like one day. He was like in and out.
I wrote down.
Done.
I'm like halfway through my notes. I wrote, "Where is Tony Danza?" And then they finally got into his stuff.
The first time you see him is like about halfway in, or maybe.
Well,
like
he's in the
a
beginning,
soaking in
icing
the
up his
tub.
arm, but then
Yeah.
after that, he's just gonzo.
Yep.
Until finally they're like, hey, it's that one player when they go to take their photo shoot.
So like J.O. Sanders is the announcer guy who's a dick throughout the entire
Super dick.
What does he want?
Even to his
What does he even
co-announcer,
want?
he's just the meanest guy. I mean, he's a Disney villain, so he's got to be just really mean for no reason.
He has nothing to gain by being mean, is the thing.
It seemed like
he's like a know-it-all.
Well, he's like bitter.
That's his
He
character.
feels
But he's
like
not a know-it-all because he's always asking other people for help.
Feels like Danny Glover stole
He's a
his
wannabe
job.
know-it-all.
I'm like,
Sure.
did this guy go from baseball team manager to announcer? Like, was that his career path?
So the announcer guy, when he's talking about Tony Danza pitching, when they do the pitching change, so like there was original
At the end of the
pitcher-
film?
It was like
Can we
in
talk
the
about-
middle. It was
This
in
is
the
when
middle.
they-
Let's start
when you
in
find
the
the-
beginning a little more.
yeah. Let's go over the movie.
Because there's because before that we find out that Danny Glover and Tony Danza used to be on the same team, and or he was just the coach of that team.
They were on the same team.
Okay, they were both playing at the same time,
Which I think was Cincinnati.
and there's a line like Tony
I
Danza.
couldn't quite get this line.
Yeah, Danny Glover and Tony Danza are at a fight, and Tony Danza blames Danny Glover for giving him pills.
Oh,
and that's
yeah.
the reason he like had a bad career.
And Danny Glover like
No,
waves
no,
away
no,
like
no, trouble?
No. There was a game that they were playing together, and I don't understand. Like, it's kind of a throwaway line, but he said something about how he slid into him during a game and injured Danny Glover, and he had like his spikes.
I thought that was
out or
somebody else who
something.
did that. I didn't think it was Tony Danza. I thought
think
that was
they
just
might have
another
been-
player.
They might have been playing
like
on
another player.
different teams, and he.
But-
Slid
I thought it was another
into-
player entirely.
I think he was talking about Tony Danza.
Okay,
because their
I guess I'll have to watch that part
relationship.
again, but I don't think it was. I think it
Like,
was
he
just
didn't
off the
like
line.
Tony Danza.
No, he didn't.
And I think that was what he was explaining. Like, he slid into him with his like cleats out.
I thought it was because of the pills.
Yeah, no, because then he says like, he's like, then you got me all addicted to those pills. He's like,
Danny Glover got Tony Danza
Okay,
addicted to
I
drugs.
I think that might have been later.
Yeah,
Danny
that was
Glover,
right at the beginning of
Danny
the
Glover
Disney
really
movie.
waves that away
Yeah.
too. Because like Tony
backs
Danza's
up
like,
real quick.
I have a serious problem where I got addicted to those pills you gave me, and Danny Glover's response is just like, well, you didn't have to take those pills that I gave
wasn't
you. And I was
shoving
like,
them down
yeah,
your
that
throat.
was
I
so
was like, wow, Danny,
bad.
you gotta own that one because you can't just say don't eat them if I give them to you.
Don't give him to him. No, but there was some line in there. You might have to fish for it, but it was something about how he had his nails out. He said nails. And
I know,
I didn't know what that meant.
I thought it was an entirely different player. Well, it's the spikes and the cleats.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but like, I didn't get like, were they on the same team? Because
There's
because
no way
Danny
they couldn't have been.
Glover-
Because why would a player on the same team slide into another one?
Right,
They have to be opposite teams.
Because
See-
Danny Glover was a catcher.
See, that's why I thought it was. Oh, okay, maybe like.
He was a catcher, and maybe Tony Danza was on a different team, and he slid into him wrong.
Well,
but he
because
thought it was
back then,
intentional.
maybe back then they had, they have like the whole if you can knock the ball out of the catcher's hand thing, and
Well,
maybe
they still
had one of
kinda have
those.
that.
It was
think.
Knox that did it. The pitcher that he kicks out in the beginning of the movie, that's the line he says. He's mad at Knox, the pitcher who he gets off the... And he was the guy
Oh,
that
really?
got Danny Glover's... gave Danny Glover that
God,
injury.
This is so confusing. I didn't get that.
Yeah, he says that in the,
I mean,
in the beginning.
I heard
Okay.
something, but I was like, I don't know
Yes.
who he's talking
There's
about.
some, like, pitcher in the beginning of the movie
Yeah.
that, like, was the one that
The
got...
regular starter.
Yeah.
Commissioner finds you $5,000 for jumping gates. And word has it, Ranch is pressing civil charges for you popping him.
Come to think of it, I have felt better since I slugged Wilder.
Your pistol smoking, pal.
I hadn't made the connection.
Look, I know you and Wilder's been at each other's throats since you were players.
Yeah, we've been at each other's throats since he spiked my knee and ruined my career.
Accidents happen, George.
It wasn't an accident. When you slide into a catcher with your nails up, it's on purpose. I was coming into my best years.
Don't go making more cow pies to step in, George.
And Danny Glover and him get in a fight on the mound, and like the other team joins in for whatever reason.
Well, no, the whole of their team joins in, and the other team,
and the other team is joins in
starts
for
to run
fun.
out because they're like, oh, that team's leaving the bench for the fight, and then like their coach is like,
Yeah.
wait, they're all fighting each other.
He's like, that's not our fight.
And they're all like, oh yeah, and they'll sort of go back. That was a funny moment.
Yeah.
It was.
I also like the moment where Jordan Joseph-Levitt, I don't know how to say his name properly. I'm never going to do it.
JGL.
Nope. I'll say the way I want to say it.
Gosh.
They're in a tree, and then they're spying. They're watching the game from a tree, and one of the security guards says, "You better have tickets for that tree."
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then he
That's really funny.
he doesn't motion at all like he's going to get them. He just
There's
starts
no way
like
he can
shaking
get
his
them.
fist at them, and they're like, oh, gotta get out of here.
What are you kids doing up there?
Uh-oh.
You better have tickets for that tree.
I also really liked all the shots of them supposedly looking through the binoculars, which are clearly like a little binocular shape on existing footage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was so
Movies
funny.
did that all the time.
Yeah, it was just really funny.
And there's a really weird background line where they're calling someone to the mound, and it's like the Herbinator, Herbnator. it's like very faint in the background, like just slipped in a weird joke in this movie.
I wanted to go back and actually look at this because they were like right in the beginning when they introduced like Tony Danza is number.
What's his name even? What are the names of
I don't
any of
know.
these characters?
But he's number 22, and when they replace him at the mound, like they're like, "Oh man, I can't believe they swapped out their regular starter for Tony Danza." And he gets to the mound, and in the background, the announcer's saying, "And now starting at third base, number 22." As like Tony Danza's standing facing the camera with number 22 on his uniform, and I was like, "Wait, what?
What?
There's like two people with the same number.
Apparently, I was like,
or they just forgot.
I was like, yeah, I was like, no one was paying attention. I'm sure.
So Joseph Gordon-Levitt and this younger kid live with
JP or whatever.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yep.
His name gets said a lot in the film.
They live with this foster parent.
Foster mom.
the
But
bird
it's like
lady.
it's like short-term. She's a short-term foster parent.
Yeah.
Like she can only have him for 6 months, I guess.
Yeah.
So
And so that time is coming to an end, and his dad.
And they have like a third person that lives with them that kind of like teases them, but he ends up getting like adopted.
He gets adopted like partway through the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so his dad, Joseph's dad, says
Gordon Joseph Levitt.
Jordan Joseph Levitt says his dad says that they can be a family again when the Angels win the pennant.
We had that in the first part.
I called that.
Yes.
I knew
We nailed
was
it.
up.
And so then he wishes, like this movie's really a lot of it is about like God and spirituality and religion and stuff.
It needs to be. There's angels.
Yeah, and so he wishes on he just wishes.
He prays.
That
Andy.
prays. Okay, there it is. They win the pennant, and so I guess just a simple wish like that allows you to have angels to help out this baseball
Christopher
team.
Lloyd has kind of a throwaway line where he like hopes for big things from him. So he's gonna end up being like the president or somebody really sweet in the future.
Maybe.
That's my idea.
So they can only help out important people.
Yes.
If you're a nobody.
Only good things happen to important people.
So yeah, the Angels start helping the team out, and like kind of like we guessed, with
only a few times.
He explains to Danny Glover during like a photo, like they win a picture with the manager.
Yeah, the younger kid wins they just call out a ticket number and they say you get a photo op with the coach.
Yeah.
So they go down there, and this is after Joseph has seen the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
And so he tells them, like, oh, yeah, I saw there were angels that helped them out.
Yep.
Then this leads to...
Well, he says to Danny Glover, I can prove it, just ask the other players. And
Yeah, that's when he asks Matthew McConaughey, because he's the very first one. They like lift
Yeah.
him so he can catch a ball, and he's like...
And they show the replay of him just like floating in on wires.
And he specifically says, he's like, I don't know, it's like someone helped me by the arms, and I flew through the air and caught the ball.
And the guy who hit the ball clean off its skin.
Yep.
They ask him, and he says, like, basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So,
but he doesn't believe yet.
Yeah, he's like, maybe there's something to this, but I don't know.
We should. Well, yeah, Danny Glover doesn't believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
JGL believes immediately.
Well, then he comes to deliver the photo.
So yeah, he goes to like kind of find out more. So he goes to personally deliver that photo in order to ask him more questions about it.
About the Angels.
Yeah, and he's like, this kid have like a wild imagination or something like that, and he's like, no.
The foster mom's like,
no,
never.
Yeah, he puts the kids in the press box for the next game.
Who is that guy?
Oh, the publicist?
Tyler
Yeah.
Negron? Tyler Negron's amazing.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's so funny.
He has such like a unique face. I know
Yeah.
him from like one other thing, but I
Yeah.
can't think of
He
what
passed-
it is.
He
very
passed away
familiar.
fairly recently too. It's a real big bummer. He was an awesome
Yeah, his
actor.
face was very familiar, and I was like, he's so funny in this movie. So he like their publicist gets essentially put in charge of taking care of the
He's a
kids at the
babysitter.
games. Yeah,
He's Mr. Comedic Relief, physical comedy.
physical comedy.
He's always
relief.
getting stuff spilled on him. He's always sitting on something.
Yep.
He's always making
I
faces.
really love that scene when he squirts the mustard on him, and then he's like in his head he's like, okay, what gets out mustard stains? What's get
Club soda.
Club soda, and then the little kid's like,
I've got
I
soda.
have soda, and just spills it all over.
Dumps it in his lap. And I love later when he's sitting there and he like has a poncho on and it's like covered in ketchup
he's
and
learned.
mustard. Yeah, he's like,
learning.
yep, that's just how.
But
it
later on,
works.
he's wearing like a beekeeper's outfit at one point, and like things are flying all around him.
Yeah, because for whatever reason he can't be around while Jordan Joseph-Levitt and Dan Glover are talking about the
Yeah, I didn't
Angels.
understand that. They were.
Yeah.
It was like, if he's there, the Angels never show up. And I was like, wow,
Yeah,
is this
that-
kid? Is the publicist supposed to be evil?
And there's a
That
gr-
was such a dumb plot line.
Yeah.
There's a great conversation that Tyler Negron and Danny Glover have where Tyler Negron's like, you're firing me on Friday, right? And Danny Glover's like, no, I think we're going to keep you around. And he's
Yeah,
like,
because
"Oh,
originally
great."
Danny Glover was like, "I'm firing you on Friday,
Yeah.
and I would fire you earlier if I could." And
Yeah.
then they flip the tables where the
Yeah.
guy wants to get fired because he hates
And he
babysitting the
can't.
kids. But he's into it at the end of the series. He's having a fun time, and like I said, he
I
wears
love
his
when he
poncho.
sits on those nachos, and then he stands up, and it's just like every single nacho is on his
Yep.
butt.
Gotcha, but
Then it's like not even maybe like a minute later he comes back. There's no nacho
No nachos
stains
on his
whatsoever.
butt.
cleaned him up.
There's
Or he had a new
nothing.
pair of
Changed
pants.
pants. Yeah,
I mean,
must have.
he's a cleanly man.
Oh,
He knew
man.
how to get out
He
a
still had that
mustard
mustard
stain.
stain on his shirt, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, he knew how to get it
Yeah,
out
he
at
did,
least.
yeah.
He just didn't have
I mean,
to
he
get
wears
it
bow
out yet.
ties. I assume he knows that stuff. So they run through, and the Christopher Lloyd does tell the kid, "Don't tell anybody else about the Angels. Just like me and you and the other
Yeah,
kid."
that's some
and
sort of
the
rule that
coach."
the movie needs to have
Yeah,
for
but it's
stakes.
not
and
even
stuff.
really a
didn't
rule.
help
It
because
doesn't matter.
everybody found out about the Angels and they still
He
managed to
specifically-
help one more time.
Yeah, he specifically asks Christopher Lloyd at the end. He's like, "Are you not helping because like everyone knows now?" He's like, "No, we didn't really care about that. It's just because it's the championship
Yeah.
and you have to win your own."
There were
championship."
rules to this that weren't explained
He
until
never
like
explained these
the
rules
moment
to
that
the
they
kid.
needed to be explained after like
Yep.
the
Yeah.
situation already
he's a
existed.
trickster.
He's a
a
terrible
tricky guy.
He's terrible.
But there's a whole gimmick in this where, for whatever reason, the manager of the baseball team wants Danny Glover to go out there and admit that there are no Angels.
Yeah, he got real upset about the article that, well, it was like a tiny little article in the paper that was like, "Oh, supposedly there's Angels helping the
Why
team."
would you not want to push that story and
Right?
get that to be fake?
Your team
Like,
is
you
called
push
the
it.
Angels.
Yeah,
Like
this is great news.
That's a great PR thing. It's the.
That's why we're winning, so
yeah,
come out to the
because
stadium.
we're
Maybe you'll see an
angels and-
angel.
yeah, like I don't
Although-
understand why
Doesn't
he's
make
so
sense
mad
to
about
me.
it.
It does make sense. But
No.
then there,
No, I refuse.
no. I mean, it makes sense what you were saying
Oh,
to
okay.
push the angel.
Oh yeah.
The Angels
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
But then also, I guess it kind of implies that they're still a bad team and they need like a supernatural assistance to make
Yeah,
them a
but
good
they
team.
They
were.
need those back massages. Adrian
Yeah.
Brody needs to loosen up.
Oh man, he was getting that massage.
Yeah,
from
there's a
Angel,
lot
and
of
he was
massages going
about
around.
It. Yep.
It's the same angel just massaging all the boys out there.
Yeah, and it was a
they-
lady angel doing
Yeah.
all those massages.
Yeah. They didn't play on this element, but I think it would have made more sense if, like, Danny Glover was making some what other people saw as poor decisions. He put Adrian Brody into bat,
When he's
and he
the
was
worst
terrible.
baseball
Yes.
hitter
He
on the
put
team.
Tony Danza into
Worst
pitch.
pitcher on the team.
And J.O. Sanders, the announcer, said, I looked this up. This guy hasn't pitched in this decade.
He hasn't started in this decade.
Started in
Okay.
this
He hasn't
decade.
started
Yeah.
in this decade.
Which arguably would have only been probably, 4 years at the most?
Could have been.
I do like how they when they did put in Tony Danza to start that first time, like they made a big point of explaining why that was okay with the rules. I was like,
You could
they
just
were-
do that.
I was
Why-
like, you didn't have to. Like, I don't think that.
Well, I
many
guess he
people were
was
gonna be
on the
like-
injured reserve list, so like maybe you couldn't. Maybe you had to like wait a game.
But
to
they
put
were
a
like,
player back on
I
it.
know people are gonna be upset if we don't explain why he's allowed to do this.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think I would have. I guess it gave him something to talk to, like do some voiceover while he's walking to the mound. But
Long injured Mel Clark League rules specify that up until the first pitch is thrown, the roster can be altered, although I can't ever remember this happening so near game time.
It was kind of weird. Do we really need to know that much? Although I suppose if they didn't, I'd probably be the one that's like, they can't even do that.
Every time there's an angel, there is a Zolly. If there's a Zolly happening in the movie, there are some angels up
dolly.
to something. Yeah. Every single time.
Yep.
It's like this movie gets Zolly happy when the angels are coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
It's all about
Did you guys notice that the Pine Sol lady was in this movie?
What? What's the Pine Sol lady doing?
Like on a bottle of Pine Sol?
No, she was sitting behind the two kids when they first saw the angel. She was in like a red.
Oh, that's
sweater.
the lady that sat behind him?
That was a Pine Sol lady.
What?
I swear to God, I didn't look it up though.
It's not in the trivia, Andy. I don't believe you unless it's in the trivia, so you better add it.
I think that was the Pine Sol lady. Someone verify this. I am 90% confident.
Yep. And the Charmin Bear was there, and then the brawny guy was in the background, and there was a scrubbing bubble somewhere hidden in there.
It's all in there.
I mean, turns out Pine Sol financed a big chunk of this movie.
I mean, it's before she was the Pine Sol lady, but it's
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure it's her. I feel very confident.
I don't even know what the Pine Sol lady looked like.
I had no idea there was a Pine Sol lady.
I know.
until
I got a
just
Mr.
now.
Clean.
What? You don't...
I got an Aunt Jemima.
That's the Pound Pine Sol, baby.
Is she on the bottle or is she just the spokesperson?
She's a spokesperson in all the commercials.
Maybe it's been a minute since I've seen a Pine Sol commercial.
Man.
That's the Pound Pine Sol, baby.
Is that, can you even buy Pine Sol anymore?
Come on, this is the Pine Sol lady. Someone look it up. Get her on Twitter if she's still around.
Oh my gosh.
Tweet
Ask her
everybody
if she-
tweet at her. Ask her if she was in Angels in the Outfield.
Hashtag Pine Sol lady in the outfield. Oh man.
Oh, jeez. I had to write that down.
That's really funny. I really hope that's true. I absolutely I'm rooting for you, buddy. I want this to be real and true.
Joseph's mom never shows up like I thought she did. They never come visit them in the house at all. The angels are always just out in the outfield.
She's
Oh,
dead.
right. No, as an angel.
Yeah, as an angel.
Okay, I thought you were like,
What movie are we watching?
I was like,
Before someone from the dead can come back, she would come back as an angel.
I was like, Brad, they established early that she was
That was
dead.
the very first
That was
line.
like, we talked about that already on this podcast.
I thought maybe that.
What?
Okay, I will say that I did for a moment think that the lady that was massaging Adrian Brody.
Yeah, she gave him a wink.
I thought that was his mom, but he didn't say anything.
No.
And I don't, and there was never like, hey, how's my mom doing in heaven either or anything.
Yeah, why wouldn't that be just
Well,
thrown in there?
what if that was awkward? If he's like, ooh, I hate to tell you this, but your mom is not up here.
Oh, no.
I'm an angel. I can't lie to you. So,
I like the team in this movie. Like I
They're
thought they
funny.
were a fun team.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, they all got together.
the-
There was like a guy with like greasy long hair. There was a short guy with a mustache.
there's the dumb guy. There's the fat guy.
Yeah.
There's
So, that fat guy could not run at all.
no. That's
I was
why
like,
they
how
needed
is
an
he
angel to
scoring
help him.
runs?
Yeah,
He's gonna get out
batting.
before he gets to the first base.
Well, I mean, if you watch baseball, there's a lot of fat dudes playing baseball. I mean,
They can run faster than that.
Yeah, that's probably true.
When he got slapped on the butt, I think he slowed down.
That's what I was expecting like a goofy fast motion bit, but no, it was just him running the same way, and I was like,
He started like kind of marching. His
don't
like
think
knees
this is-
went way up, and I was like, that is gonna make you go really slow.
he slid faster than he ran, at least.
Yeah, they pushed him. They pushed him into third base.
Yeah.
Oh, but so there was a rule, sort of, where in order for the Angels to assist, Joseph Gordon-Levitt said that Danny Glover needs to tone down the swearing or stop
Yeah.
the swearing.
That's really, that's really fun.
Yep.
It was a funny moment. Yeah, and he's like, he
I don't
started
wanna
kind of
swear,
murmuring
son
and
of a
stuff,
bee.
and then he ended up telling the whole team like,
What's the cursing?
yeah, watch the cursing. And then there's a line where
flip
like,
out.
Lady R line. That's like,
he's like, that takes away all of our conversation.
yeah, that's like half of what we say. So I thought that was really funny.
That was a great moment.
That was really good.
I can't believe I totally missed the kids baseball scene. Because
Oh yeah, that was a fun little
yeah.
scene.
When I-
yeah.
Danny
when I-
Glover bonding with those kids.
when it started, I immediately remembered like the run home kid where Danny Glover's like trying to teach this kid about baseball, and he's like, just do everything I say.
Yeah, that was fun where he's like, who wants to go up first or something? All the kids like me, and he like finds the kid that's like the outsider kid, and he's like, how about you? And
Danny Glover has a great character arc.
He does.
In this film.
He's just this angry baseball manager that hates everyone at first, and he grows into like this like a passionate guy who's having a good time.
He even has like a confession to Jordan Joseph-Levitt about his dad being like the same way. It's like, you don't want to be growing up not trusting people because you'll end up being a guy like me.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, that hit home.
Oh my God.
Danny Glover. Oh my gosh. Gone fishing.
Oh, boy.
Gone fishing, Danny Glover. Oh boy, you've gone fishing.
Oh man.
He was great.
He was really good.
He was the best part of the whole movie, I think.
Oh, I think there are a lot of good characters.
Oh, absolutely.
If I had to pick one,
I was pleasantly surprised.
There's no weak link, but like they just don't give like Tony Danza is on the cover of this movie, and he maybe has like 8 lines.
Yeah, it was weird.
He's got a lot of screen time at the end of the film.
I thought this movie was
going
to be mostly Danny Glover and Tony Danza doing baseball stuff.
Me too.
That's what we said in the first half.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's all we got.
And yeah.
Tony Danza really takes a back seat in this movie. Yeah, what up with that?
I think there was more Adrian Brody and Matthew McConaughey in this movie.
Yeah, and they were just a fun couple of dudes.
Yeah.
Matt McConaughey was pretty funny to watch in the thing.
I thought he was good. I mean, he
does like a serious...
He's probably got a future in acting.
He does a serious catch as him where he like barrels over his own arm.
Yeah, that was
like
impressive.
Like near the end, like angels aren't helping him, and there's a scene where he just goes for it and gets that ball and
just nails it.
Looks like it hurt.
It did.
Man, you fell.
I mean, if you tumble right, you can get through that safely. But
yeah, but I don't think he did.
The
I think he was just
idea
going
of having
for
to do it, I would just fall on my head.
I think he just committed to that fall. He was like, I'm gonna go run and I'm gonna catch that ball.
Yeah, maybe he injured himself in that, and that's.
His career
suddenly took off.
I'm gonna go catch that ball. All right.
Oh man!
I think right after this movie, he was in like the Texas Chainsaw remake in like the mid '90s.
So the Angels go on like this big winning streak, and then they lose the one game where the kid has to go to court.
Yeah. That's an interesting scene because it's like real life.
Yeah,
that's like you can't avoid this.
It brings you back to like the beginning of the movie where you almost forget about the whole like kid just wants his dad like aspect until he suddenly has to go to court and his dad's like, "Yeah, I'm not a good dad. Just keep the kid."
Oh God! And me being a social worker, they kept saying like, "Oh, your social worker called," or "Your social worker wants you to be here." That character never existed.
Nope.
In the entire movie.
Yeah,
no.
you don't exist either.
Oh,
bye.
In real life, you're just a guy on a phone, just like the guy in this movie. The social worker in this movie, just a guy on a phone.
You're missing a kid's court date right now, Andy.
I bet you even called a kid at one point, took him out of a baseball game, made him show up to his court date.
And didn't even show up yourself.
Yeah, and
That's
didn't
a normal
even show up yourself. That's what they teach you on day one.
Yeah. You gotta learn quick.
Mm-hmm. But Danny Glover comes in, he's like really concerned with the kid. Because like immediately you think he's going to be mad at the game and it plays it off a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, he goes right to like, how did it go?
Yeah,
what was the ruling?
He was surprisingly at ease with the whole like
losing
he wasn't
game.
here and lost the game.
He didn't care about losing that game.
No, he was. I mean, he's in such a good mood at that point that like the loss didn't bother him, and he was just like, hey, and when he's like, oh, you were in court, oh man, like it didn't go well, and then he talks to him in the car, and they have really good heart to heart.
I'm sorry about what happened to you, and he's like, what, you're just sorry about the game or something like that, and he's like, no, I'm sorry that you're hurt.
It's like as the audience, I was like, no, I promise, he's really sad about you, man. He didn't care about the game.
And it's interesting because in a lot of baseball movies, specifically Rookie of the Year and Major League, it's like the team has to win games or else like they lose the team or something happens to the team. In this movie, it's just like the Angels are having fun playing some games.
Right, yeah. And they were like, oh,
There's
it's
no
halfway
really
through the
stakes for the
season
team.
and they're last place. And I'm like, yeah, but baseball season is like 13 months long.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's like they have plenty of games left.
For a movie that was an hour and 42 minutes long, it only had one montage.
Yeah, I thought like the whole second half of this film was going to be a bunch of baseball montages, and there was like
I was waiting for it.
There was everything else was like just small, like hey, we're at a game. Here's one time an angel helped. Next like scene, and it wasn't a montage. It was a montage.
Before we get to the big twisty breaky part.
Oh man,
because we are going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But I want to leave it as a little bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So
I
can feel it.
I was close. I was about to be like,
don't jump into the spoiler because we'll
oh man,
because that we have to end on that.
Yep.
The thing that we just did not get in
We
the
didn't.
first
Nope.
part.
None of us remembered an inkling of this.
of this thing in the movie.
This thing that we're talking about that we won't tell you about yet.
Yep.
I think I'm lost, but go ahead.
Well, let's first talk about the Danny Glover courtroom scene, or not the conference room, because we talked about it a little bit.
press
We kind of glossed over
Yeah.
it.
So the owner, the
And
owner of
that
the
owner
team-
guy,
The goofy cowboy owner.
that guy is like a really prolific actor. His name's Ben Johnson. His top 4 movies on there were The Last Picture Show, The Wild Bunch,
Oh, okay.
The Getaway, and Red Dawn. And that guy
This
just
is
has
Red
like
Dawn?
yeah, that guy just has a huge resume. He's like some sort of amazing classic actor. When you see him, it's like I don't know who that guy is.
Wow.
Right.
He's just
right.
some old dude.
And he's like the goofy like Yosemite
Club owner.
Sand team owner.
That's
Yeah.
like
This rootin' tootin' Angels team and like
that was a good impression of someone I don't know.
Can you go ahead and wait? What were some more lines he had in the movie?
doggone it, them Angels need to help us some more.
Is he here?
Them Duke boys gonna get after them Angels.
Rootin' is tootin' his team out there.
Hey, just some cowboy guy owns the team. Or
Yeah.
he doesn't really have any stakes. He's not like he has to win every game.
It felt
Just-
very basketball to me, almost
Yeah,
like.
but for whatever reason,
exactly.
the scumbag announcer guy
Yeah.
gets JP to tell him about
over-
the Angels.
yeah, he
and
overhears
publishes
him
that
telling
story,
Danny Glover about it.
And then for whatever reason,
The owner's so
the
mad
owner gets
about it.
mad about it. I'm like, why? Like, whose fault? There's no what. What do you even?
And he's-
why are we even mad about
And
this?
he's really mad specifically at Danny Glover about it. And he's like, he tells him, he's like, I'm setting up a press conference tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be there to
or,
talk
or
about
he's
this
gonna get
one
fired.
small news article.
You have to, or you are
Yep.
you are
and
fired.
you have to
Danny
denounce
Glover.
Angels or you're fired.
And I immediately just wrote down, but why?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
I
why?
it's creating a problem with a obvious solution. It's
Yep.
like
But why?
don't deny it.
Yeah, it seemed like the fans were into it. Like they're selling out games because of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I feel like just embrace it, guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
What is
publicity.
happening?
I don't understand.
It's like,
what
oh,
the
we
problem
don't
is.
want good publicity.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I don't want no
what?
God.
We don't
in
want
my
people
baseball.
We don't want people thinking they're actual angels out here. Why not?
As a God-fearing red-blooded
sounds
American,
sweet.
I don't want no God in my
We're an
red-blooded
atheist
baseball.
team. We ain't like no God. We're called the Angels because we hate angels.
It's like I want this team to fail because I want Angels to look bad.
So the scene that almost made you cry.
Yeah. No, I didn't cry during that scene.
You didn't cry during that scene where the
I said,
lady stands up?
I cried during the scene where Tony Danza was about to have his last pitch, and
Oh, wait, whoa. You're gonna don't break the news yet.
Okay.
Because the foster mom, this is where I had to cry.
Oh yeah, it was a good moment.
Because
Oh, this is a really good moment.
Danny Glover is like about to, for whatever reason, in the press conference, there's a lot of pressure on for him to denounce there being real angels for some reason, whatever.
whatever.
And he's about to do it, and then he just goes off the cuff and just starts talking.
Because
yeah.
the kids and the foster mom
Yeah,
come in.
yeah.
they show up.
And they like immediately go to like the middle of this press conference and nobody stops
You just
them.
get in there.
They're like,
It don't matter.
Everyone does stop talking
Yeah.
and like look at them.
and
as they
I
come
did
in.
really like when like the foster mom stands up to deliver her speech.
Right.
And I love the coach's lots where he's just like, explain like who you are and what your business is.
All right.
he just
Because he knows.
Yeah, he
He's
just
like,
demands who
I'm
she
a
is."
foster family owner.
He's like, who the heck is this lady that's in the middle of my press
Yeah.
conference?
There are reporters there, and like the scummy announcer guy has the questions like, "So are the angels real?"
I was so confused
and Dan-
about the announcer's
yeah.
guy's role at half the time because
He didn't-
he's,
what did
he's,
he
he's
want?
a sports announcer, but he's also a journalist separately.
He did get punched in the face.
Yeah, and he deserved it.
He needed to be working for like the Yankees,
Yeah.
and to be like sabotaging the Angels.
I didn't
that needed to
understand-
be a storyline.
Like, I don't remember any sportscasters asking questions at press conferences. Like, why?
No.
He's also in the locker room
they
doing
do.
it too.
Yeah?
I mean, there's like Fox.
Yeah, they
Fox
would.
Sports Detroit that like they
would.
The
They would
guys
send out
doing the
announcers.
play-by-play during the game?
Sure. Well,
Because
They
that's
do it
what
for the
he-
Pistons games.
I agree with you. It doesn't really happen that way.
Yeah.
It's not usually the announcer.
And it wouldn't be.
at the
It wouldn't happen in a
field.
big game. It'd be like at a local
Right.
game. Like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
smaller
Like,
game.
the
it
local,
would
like I'm
happen.
thinking like the Red Wings. I don't see like Ken Cal in the press conference after the game.
Yeah, but, George Blaha and Greg Kellogg are the Pistons announcers, and Greg Kellogg will go out after the game and talk to a player.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's just doing like
That's
court
a
interviews.
perfect
Yeah, on-court
example.
interviews.
Because this is like, huge press conference. That guy was there.
Well, they're
as
like
a
in the middle of the
reporter.
playoffs at this point.
I was like, I like the idea of like when you're calling
awkward.
reporters and they're like, "Hi, I'm so and so with this place." Like calling him, he's like, "Hi, I'm your own sportscaster. I have a question."
Shouldn't you know the answer to this, sir?
That is true because he works for the team, basically.
Yeah,
He's talking bad about the team and he works for them.
He's biting the hand that feeds him.
I don't understand.
Perfect Nine Inch Nails reference.
So yeah, they give the speech and
Okay, so the foster mom says, I have
She
something to
gives
say.
a glorious speech.
Great.
This is
Yeah.
where I teared up.
yeah,
The only thing I really remember from her speech is like, we're okay with believing in God, but not angels. And she's
Yeah.
like, I thought they were on the same team, basically.
Oh yeah.
Like, what?
She nailed it.
She's
with
like,
her,
she's like,
with
the
her
team
references.
is the like they're called
Right.
the angels. Why are you upset? She basically says what we were thinking.
She's
like,
saying,
why
well, yeah.
is this a problem?
It doesn't make any sense. Like no one had this thought before her.
Yeah.
And then Tony Danza gets in like
Does his thing.
a quick little line like, "We already established the point, Tony Danza.
no, he
We're
had
on the same page."
He had to stand up and say, I'm still in this movie, guys.
Right? Well, it's weird because we established too that like everyone universally acknowledged that he's a washed up has-been player, and then he stands up and he's like, if the kids can't be there, or whatever, like I won't play. If
Danny
Glover's
gets
not there,
fired.
then I won't play. I was like, Tony,
Yeah.
I don't think they'd have you play regardless.
don't want you
you're,
back.
You're done.
But they
You're
have
old.
a my captain moment
Yeah,
where
so
everyone
then the
else
rest
of the team
is
joins
like
up.
all about it. But when it was just when Tony Danza did it, I was like, you're not the best person to
I thought you were
kick
gonna say
this
you're
off.
not the boss. I thought you were gonna say you are not the boss.
I missed it. Oh, Brad. Oh, so I have so many regrets.
So many regrets.
So many regrets.
Regrets.
I mean, at this point, like, why would the team denounce Danny Glover? They're doing really
Yeah.
well.
They're doing great.
And he's the nice guy.
been in a
He's
good
turned a
mood.
leaf.
He's changed.
He's killing it.
Like, they're obviously gonna back him up.
Yeah.
They're not gonna back up the manager who, like,
Yeah, the cowboy owner. It's like,
yeah.
nope.
They have no. There's literally no scenes other than that one with the manager
This is
and
a
the team.
really bad, like, right end of the second act scene. It comes out of nowhere.
And it's weird
like,
because,
trying
like,
to-
right
trying to
after...
be
I
in
think
there.
it's a simple right. It's like
Yeah.
someone just was like, okay,
We need
we'll
to
have
have
a
this
simple
scene.
problem and a simple solution
And,
to it.
and I expected, like, the owner to then be all, like, flustered and stormed, but he just sort of goes like, oh, okay. He's just like, all right,
fine.
angels, angels are cool now, I guess.
Well,
That's fine.
I guess when you put it that way, I guess I am a dummy.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad he came to that realization because he is. But
Yeah.
it was like, I almost. It reminded me of our Almost Famous episode where we're like, it was almost a conflict and then it wasn't.
yeah, it was
Like,
definitely a. Oh well, shame on me.
Yeah. He's like, oh, all right.
Excuse me. I'd like to say something on behalf of George Knox.
What's your name? What's your business here?
My name is Maggie Nelson. I take care of foster kids. One of these boys is the child who can see angels. He could stand up right now and tell you exactly what's happened. And I know you just laugh at him. But when a professional football player drops to one knee to thank God after making a touchdown, nobody laughs at that. Or when a pitcher crosses himself before going to the mound, nobody laughs at that either. Seems like you're saying it's okay to believe in God, but it's not okay to believe in angels.
All right, let's go around the table. Let's say all the women that were in this movie. The foster mom. Andy, go.
Oh, God. The pine saw lady.
Andy, go.
You stole my lady.
There are no women in this movie. There's like 0 women. Where are my ladies at in this movie?
Oh, the woman angel.
The woman angel? Okay, the lady in the press box who's helping the announcer guy.
Good poll.
I'm pretty sure the judge in the courtroom scene is also a woman.
Got it.
All right, the lady
Are there
that
6 women in this movie?
the lady that brings them to the court for one quick minute.
Oh, my
I was
gosh.
just proving that point. Is like,
man.
I was so
It's-
wrong. Like, you needed to get some ladies in here.
Yeah.
There's only one female character who had relevance to
Yes.
the
Oh,
plot.
man.
Yep,
What a
absolutely
bummer.
right.
It's
They-
the bummer
they-
of the summer.
They basically murdered the only other female character before the movie started.
Just give Tony Danza, like, oh, lady. It's like, oh, you're washed up. You have to prove yourself to get back in my good graces, Tony
And
Danza.
I feel like
it didn't happen.
the foster mom was a good character, but at the same time, like, I'm thinking of, like, Henry's mom in Rookie of the Year, who's an amazing character and just kills it. She's
so
like the
good.
best mom and is just great. And she's in like the whole movie. Mm-hmm. And this one, like the Foster one, just pops up to deliver key lines at key moments.
Yeah, and she
and
kills
that's
it,
all
but
she does. She's great.
Small, yeah.
She is great, but yeah, it's a small role. It's not.
Yeah, her character doesn't change.
It's not. It's not consequential.
She's
or
always just a
anything
good
like that.
character throughout the whole film.
I think in part 1 we had talked about like whether or not there was like a love interest for the main character, and that didn't happen.
No, I didn't.
at all.
Yeah,
Get it
and I was
happening.
like, I don't think there really was. And yeah, they did that. in Rookie
Have
of the
Tony
Year.
Danza have like a divorced wife. He's getting served his divorce papers.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I'm not going to sign them. And it's like, you're washed up. You're nothing. And then he like, wins the thing and throws him back in her face.
Yeah,
Like,
she's like,
you didn't want me
she's
when
like,
I wasn't
I'm
famous.
back, buddy. And he's like,
Boom.
too late.
Rip it up. Okay, are we ready to talk about it?
Sure,
I think we're there.
go for it.
You want me to say it?
Yeah, you kick
Okay.
it off,
Well,
Bradley.
remember,
So-
I'm not really sure exactly where we're going
So,
with this.
right near the end of the film, Tony Danza is hanging out.
Yep.
Christopher Lloyd comes down and
This is the
tells...
pennant game.
Yep. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, angels aren't going to help you in the pennant.
Oh, I got the exact line.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I was thrown off by this. He says, championships have to be won on their own. It's a rule. And I was like, is it? When was that established?
Again, Christopher Lloyd is terrible at explaining any of this to anybody.
And out of the blue, he just casually mentions that Tony Danza
Yeah, he says-
is going to be joining them
The kids
soon.
ask, why are you here?
That moment!
The kid
my
the kid
God.
asks, why are you here? And he just looks over, he's like, oh, I'm just checking up on Tony Danza. And he's like, why? He's like, oh, he's going to be joining us soon. And you're like, who? And then he straight up says, like, the
6
guy
months.
smoked a lot,
Yep.
and he's got lung cancer.
Yeah, and he's just going to be dead in
God.
6
He's got
months.
6 months, and he doesn't even know it. He, like, I think
He
he's even
doesn't
straight up
even
says he
know
doesn't
it.
even know it.
And there's like subtle moments where he's like
Tell
coughing.
him?
Tony Danza's like coughing.
Yep.
Championships have to be won on their own. It's a rule.
Well, then, what are you doing here?
I came here to check on Mel. He's coming up soon. He's going to be one of us.
You mean he's...
He's smoked for years. It's always a mistake. He's got 6 months left. He doesn't know anything's wrong yet.
And it was
man.
funny because it was a conscious thought from me
it's
earlier in
everything
the
you can
movie
do.
about how much smoking was in the movie, and I didn't realize that it was basically just all Tony Danza's character because he is like always smoking, and I was like, it's weird to see smoking in a movie, even in the 90s, this much, and then I was like, it finally came back as a real plot.
And how do you
point.
drop that on like an
I couldn't
8-year-old
believe
kid?
that.
How do you
Especially with,
drop
like,
that
15
weight
minutes
on there?
left.
That was the last note I wrote for this movie, and I was just like, I just said, Danza gonna die from smoking? Holy shit! Like, it came out of nowhere.
It came out of
It came out of
nowhere.
the outfield.
I would say left field, but
That's all right. That's it. Oh, man.
I did miss the part where they explained what happened. I just got the beginning part where he's like, he's gonna die, and I was like, what, from a broken arm?
Oh, man. They did like the triple jam of emotionals. They do the press conference with the emotional speeches. Then they give they say Tony Giddens got cancer, and then they do Danny Glover adopting both the kids.
yeah.
And
They
like,
really just
they
hate
throw all
ya.
those. The 3 punches right there in a row on that
Right
one.
in the gutso.
I'll say I didn't cry during all of those. I only cried when Tony Danza had that last pitch.
Oh, man.
And they came out and they were like, "You got an angel," and the entire crowd.
The whole
Oh, your
arena
voice
did.
cracked a little
entire
bit.
crowd just said,
And he's crying right now
You're
in the
choked
studio.
up right now. What's he talking about it?
He's sobbing. He can't.
Yeah.
it was so
God.
good. It was such a good moment.
So Tony Danza's pitching. He walks a guy.
Yep.
He's
struggling.
He gets he loads the bases.
Yeah.
It takes about 50. They show like in real time him loading the bases.
Yeah, they really do.
They hit a guy gets another hit. Just all this sorts of stuff happens.
They did keep saying
Yeah.
like his offense or
His defense keeps
was
bailing
keeping
him out.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the pivotal final pitch.
There's always just a big buff dude.
Yeah,
on the
it was
other team.
very Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, ready to
Huge
chew
dude.
some gum and just get nasty at the bat.
Yep.
That guy was apparently an actual baseball player.
Is it the same guy from Rookie of the Year, the huge
It
one?
should have
That
been.
guy, because that guy was
Wasn't.
also an actual baseball
That guy was way bigger in Rookie of the Year.
Dude was huge.
They even do we think it's going fair, but it goes foul, that old thing.
Yep.
They pretty much do everything you can do in a baseball movie to add tension.
Yep.
And then it's the last pitch. Danny Glover's like, I gotta pull this guy. But then, like, he makes a deal with Jordan goes to Levitt's like, when I go over there, do that flappy thing.
Yeah,
Do that flappy thing.
Danny Glover tells
He
the kid
whispers
that.
to him, start flapping off in the dugout.
Just flapping
just
it.
really
just
flap
flapping
it real hard. I'll give you the signal, and that's when the flapping starts.
And then everyone's gonna flap it.
Yeah, then the flapping is gonna happen. The flapping is happening.
I did like this is after the press conference, and like everyone shows up to the next game with like the little angel wings on their like not even on their backs, on their necks, like angel wings up here. And I was like, I feel like as an audience member, that would be unpleasant if everyone in front of me is wearing those. I'm like, I can't see the game because everyone
can
has
you please
these
take
stupid
those
wings
down,
on.
sir? I cannot see.
I can't see the game.
I cannot see the game.
I paid a lot of money for
please.
these pennant tickets.
Excuse me, can you duck down, please? I like the baseball game.
I need to fill in my box
I need-
score,
ooh,
please.
I'm keeping track on my little program here, and you need to sit down,
my
sir.
original power book, please.
Please sit, please. Thank you.
We just invented a whole character in this movie.
I think he was in it. That was like sort of Tyler Negron's character in a way.
So the last pitch.
Okay.
It's a strike.
Well, yeah, but they gear it up. They trick him into thinking, which we did say in the first
Yes.
half.
Yep.
To thinking he had an angel when he didn't have an
wins.
angel. But the guy hits it.
The
and I'm
guy
like,
hits it, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it wasn't a strike. Yeah.
No, yeah. he
It
just
was
hits
not
it
a
away.
strike.
You're right.
But
It
then
was a grounder.
But then Tony Danza makes an amazing
Makes the amazing catch.
and gets it. And,
Yep.
and it like comes out of his glove just like a little bit, and then
Yep.
it goes back
He
into
bobbles it.
He
Yeah.
bobbles it and then just pulls it in.
And then everyone cheers and runs to the mound, and Tony Danza says, there really are angels. And then Danny Glover's like, no, you did that all
Joke's
by
on
yourself.
I thought Tony Danza was gonna hit him. Like,
man-
you son of a... Why would you say that?
The music is bad and you should feel bad. Yeah, it was no angels this time, Tony. You threw a couple mediocre pitches and then caught a ball, and that was the game.
Yeah, he won it. They won it.
And then he died 6 months later.
Oh, boy.
Heartbreaking.
Do you think they ever told
Yeah.
him? Like the kid was
No.
like, so you should really get your lungs checked.
But I'd like to see, like, a sequel to this movie, like, 6 months later. Tony Danza's on the deathbed.
It's just a skeleton
Yeah.
of his former self.
I mean, like,
Oh, man.
everything's really good because Danny Glover does end up adopting both kids.
Yep.
Yep. Which I was trying to get, but I wasn't quite there. I knew he adopted one, but I was
yeah, he
like,
gets
I
both of them.
think they both.
I was
And
sitting
he's
there
got to
like-
have a sweet pad. He's got baseball manager money.
He drives
He's
a
got to have
Porsche.
a water slide. He's
Yeah.
got to have all sorts of great stuff.
he has
got a
all the
Mr.
blank checks.
He's
gonna
got
be
a
a
Mr. McIntosh house.
And he can just take his kids to work with him. He's been doing it the whole movie.
Right? Yeah, you could just
Nothing would change.
It's easy.
They never went to school once.
No.
They never ever
Yeah.
went to school
Well, the little kid like mentions like he can't read or something like that. And that's all.
because he
like-
didn't go to school.
Yeah.
There was also a funny point. I think I was actually mentioning the trivia, but I noticed this while I was watching the movie, where it's like they explained that the younger kid doesn't like cars because he used to live in one with his
Yeah,
mom.
that was kind of heart wrenching too.
And so they take the bus back to the house. But then later, after the
He's
kid
in a
has
band.
He also says thank you, and it's the first time he's talked to Danny
Yeah.
Glover. He's like, oh, he can talk.
That's true. But like later, after the kid has the bad court date, he's like sitting in the car, like brooding, and the little kid just jumps right in that car and like shuts that door. And I was like, you already explained why.
Well,
They
you
forgot
know,
their own storyline.
No. He had to put that away in order to be with his
There was
friends.
zero hesitation. You at least need to show a moment of conflict where he puts that behind him. It was just
Yeah.
sort of like, oh, you had a bad day, bye. Jumps in, and I was like, I lost my immersion.
His
I
name
was suddenly
J-
taken out of this
JP.
movie about angels. Yeah, JP.
I love that character.
He was really good.
I love
I
the
like him a lot.
moment when
He's really fun.
Yep.
when Joseph Gordon-Levitt is reading the newspaper about the article, and JP's like, "Who do you think told?"
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah, he doesn't really ever take the blame, does he?
Yeah, he's like,
never
he's
takes
like,
the
what's
blame.
a source? Like the person who told, he's like, that
Yeah.
wasn't me. Who
the way
was
he
it?
said it was just like, "And who do you think told?" I was
Oh,
like,
man.
"Oh, well, obviously." and he didn't even realize it. He's just
No,
like,
and,
I don't know,
and he got away
someone.
with it. He
Yeah.
never got, fingered for the job.
"Oh God!"
Like Freddie.
So I have one last question.
Okay.
Who wins a baseball game between the Rookie of the Year Cubs and the Angels in the Outfield Angels?
God, two
And I'll put a caveat in it. The Angels, neither of them know that the other one has like a secret thing, like on their side. Who wins?
I think the Angels could definitely.
And the Angels don't know.
I don't know.
They don't know about Harry Rodengard's.
I think the Cubs, because Henry had his power through at least most of that game. The Angels had no help in their pennant game. So if they're playing like a championship game between the two of them, I'm putting it on the Cubs. Any other game, definitely the Angels.
I think I'm going to go for the Angels because I think even though the Cubs have a super kid,
they got some good ball players too.
Yeah. And some weird, like, arguably, like, strange baseball tricks that they use up their sleeve.
For sure.
So they have those skills.
They're
but
tricky.
I think the Angels can still manage to do anything to get a strikeout or get a ball pop fly caught.
Now, who do you think would be more? What do you think would be funny to watch a game where Tony Danza and Gary Busey are pitching?
Oh my God! Where is that? Where is that in the world?
That would be the slowest game.
Let's see it.
Oh man!
I bet that would be like the highest scoring game possible.
Yeah, I also think
so many mistakes.
The Cubs would have a higher morale too because they have a better announcer. They don't have a really mean guy. They have John Candy. He's just great.
Rowan Garter, that guy versus Danny Glover in coaching.
Oh yeah.
You got Daniel Stern versus Adrian Brody and like whatever their goofy roles are.
Oh man,
I want to see that movie.
Little help here. I want to watch Rookie of the Year again. I'm going to go home and watch that right now.
Oh, it's too long. It's too long.
I do think between the two, I would 100% take Rookie of the Year over Angels in the Outfield.
They're both great. They're different, but they're great.
This was surprisingly good. I don't plan on watching this again anytime soon.
But it's fine. It's
but
a fine
it was
film.
fine. It was okay.
Yeah, right in the middle of the road. Passable.
I will say that this movie felt very humorless. The entire time.
I mean, I think they
had a lot more heart.
I think it helped that they were handling
more heart.
I think a much more serious situation.
Yeah.
Than like what it was. Like they're explaining. I think it's good that they're explaining to kids that are in foster care, like, hey, if you too make a wish that it comes true, then maybe you'll get adopted, but not otherwise. Maybe if you make friends with a rich baseball team manager, then you'll get adopted.
All around, this movie's great. I loved it.
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was all right.
Better than Air Bud.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no question. Definitely better than Air Bud.
Better than Air Bud.
Not as good as Rookie of the Year, I think.
You already said that.
I just wanted to reiterate because it didn't seem like you were buying it, Brad. And if that's not the case, I need to sit here and explain to you.
Thanks for rating, liking, sharing, subscribing to our podcast. Our next episode has the tagline, I feel the need for speed. You're wrong. It's not the Need for Speed movie that came out in like 2014 or 15 or whatever. It's going to be Top Gun.
What is it with you? Just want to serve my country, be the best fighter pilot in the Navy, sir.
You want to know who the best is? That's him, Iceman. That's the way he flies, ice cold, no mistakes.
You need to be doing it better and cleaner than the other guys.
I'm Maverick.
Maverick? Does your mother not like you or something?
I gotta do something here. I still can't believe it. I gotta give you your dream shot. You two characters are going to Top Gun.
You are the top 1% of all naval aviators. The elite. We'll make it better.
You figured it out yet?
What's that?
Who's the best pilot?
I'm an instructor at this school. I see 20 new hot shots every 8 weeks.
Every time you go up in the air, you're unsafe.
That's right.
I am dangerous.
It's not your flying.
It's your attitude. Yeah, I guess when I see something, I go right after it.
It takes a lot more than just fancy flying.
I got a family to think about. I can't afford to blow this. You're the only family I've got. I'm not gonna let you down. Gentlemen, this school is about combat.
10 more seconds, then I've got him.
There are no points for second place.
What you do up there, it's dangerous. But you've got to go on.
Ice.
Yes, sir.
Hollywood.
Yes, sir.
Sector 2. Maverick, you back him up with Merlin on Ready 5.
Yes, sir.
There are MiGs in the area and tensions are high. If you witness a hostile act, you will return fire. Gentlemen, this is the real thing.
Yeah, we're coming left.
This is what you've been trained for.
3 MiGs dead ahead, coming down the left
5. You are America's best.
One make 12 o'clock high. One make 12 o'clock high.
Make us proud.
I got radar lock. You clear to fire. I got a good lock. Fire. I'm firing.
Tom Cruise, Kelly McGillis, Top Gun.